Okay, so I'm going to be working with Atlas on desensitizing to the rope. I really want to just have the rope go around his body and then him move away from that pressure so we can start ground driving and start preparing him for riding. So I think I've had another video. I know I've done it. I'm not sure if it was in one of the videos or if I lost it. I'm not sure. But I have a video where I have him, where I'm tossing the rope up over his head and then all along down his body. So, but what I just did there was just tossed it up over him. It was set on his hocks for a second, and then I put a little bit of pressure, and then he just barely tipped his hips toward me. I clicked it and dropped the rope and kind of pushed it like there again. So I just held a little bit of pressure. He stepped toward me and away from that rope pressure. I'm going to throw it on the other side so he's not moving forward or coming toward me. There, he got a little worried. So I'll do a bit of desensitizing here just to show him that it's not a big deal. But once he stepped toward me, just a little tiny step, I clicked and then tossed it away so that he wouldn't run forward or run toward me, and then went and gave him his treat. So what I was saying before is I had done all the little steps where I would have the lead rope and just kind of like I'm going to toss it up over his ears and just go like a quarter of the way. And then once that rope is up and like kind of coming toward his face, I'd click and then let it fall and then treat. And then I'd work my way up to where it's up over his head and then his neck, his withers, his back, his hips, and then onto his hocks, and then start applying pressure with the rope. So I think I probably could have done more steps and like smaller steps to build his confidence, because as you can tell, he has a worry about having the rope just kind of near him in general, and then definitely behind him and on his hocks and dragging on the ground. That really freaks him out. So I definitely probably should have worked on that in smaller steps so that he didn't have as much worry, but he is doing pretty good overall, just letting me toss the rope over him, letting it touch his body. He's not panicking when it's on his hocks, so that is good. And he's thinking it through a lot better. So I do like that. I'm just letting it set and just barely putting it. Then I'm clicking, and then I'm just trying to get that rope up out of the way. There we go, so that I can come to the other side and kind of be out of the way, because when I have that rope on his left side, I'm on the right, so I got to be really careful because I don't want him to spook toward me, but it's better than having the rope behind him because he's really worried about it being behind him. So, and then I'm just gonna let him eat his treat and then start again and just kind of see if I can ask for just a little bit more. So I'm just kind of swinging it down, just doing a bit of desensitizing. He's a little bit worried here. That was a nice response. So I'm going to click, toss the rope over, and then go ahead and feed him his treat. So he got a little worried and took a step. I probably should have just worked on desensitizing and just kind of made the rope move and not asked him for movement, because I think you can ask for too much movement and then they think, oh, okay, rope on the hindquarters is move, and then that kind of connects with their fear and then they just feel it and move. So I probably should have just desensitized, clicked for him standing still and letting the rope be there, and then just let it go. But again, I was kind of stuck on that goal-oriented thing. I was like, I just want him to move off of the rope pressure. But that was a nice try for him. He didn't move forward that time. He just moved off of the rope pressure like I wanted him to. So that looks good. I probably should have given him more time to just relax and take a breath and eat his treat before I just went and asked again. But this part was just like you had seen before with me desensitizing. There, he took a nice step and click, throw the rope, where I was desensitizing his hind feet to the rope and to the stick, and where I had the rope kind of around his body and working on that girthing, and it was up kind of around his hocks, and he just could not deal with it. So he is a lot better from that video, but I was really just kind of like, okay, like I'm really over it, and I wanted him to just do it, which is never good. Because always breaking it down and going back is the way to do it, because he's not going to build confidence if I'm just not having the pieces working and I'm just like, oh, I want to do this exercise. I want him to turn and move off of the rope when he doesn't have the pieces. So that's important. Make sure you have all the pieces working before I try to do this. But I'm going to let him sit and hang out here for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go back. That was a nice response. He let me toss the rope up. His neck stayed level, and it's continuing to stay level as I work my way down his hips with the rope. That looks really nice. He's staying. He's thinking about turning. That looks really great. And I should have released immediately when he took that step over, that first step. And then he kind of paused and I was like asking for more, and then he got a little worried. I should have just rewarded that first step because he stayed relaxed. And asking for that second step was just a little too much for him. So I should have settled for that first one. Because especially with him, like, I know this exercise scares him, so there's no point in asking for more if he's going to be tight and worried, but you're getting more steps. So I should have just stopped on that one good step. Just rubbing on him a little bit. He's not liking that too much. I'm just going to ask him to stop. And you can tell, like, just by him moving around, like, he doesn't like that. And I want to just kind of get him used to the stick and, like, desensitizing. But the thing is that I was trying to mix, like, positive and negative reinforcement, and it was not working with him. That's the biggest thing that I'm showing here is, like, it did not work. It might work for some other ones that are very domestic. It did not work with him. I would continually desensitize him to the stick and to the rope, and he was not getting it. I would add in food, and he was not getting it. It was too much pressure, so that's very important. So I'm just desensitizing to the rope over his back. He's actually doing really well with that, and I should have clicked and fed that. That was really nice. Same with this. This is really nice for him, too. That was really nice, too. Good. Okay, so click and feed that, because that was a nice try from him. But, yeah, I learned a lot from Atlas. Unfortunately, he had to be my little experiment. But, yeah, the mixing thing did not work. But, I mean, it's a learning journey. That's the whole goal. I mean, everybody's going to be on one, so you kind of just end up in different places or start from different places. So I would definitely go about this differently. And I'm going to continue to make videos with Atlas and show his progress with just the clicker training alone and breaking this down. But, you know, you only know so much where you are. You don't know everything. So, you do better when you know better. So I just didn't know better. And so he stepped all the way around, but it was very tense. Like you could tell he was kind of maybe thinking about kicking at it. He was tight, but he did turn all the way around. So, I mean, but again, like, it's not a good turn all the way around if he's tight and tense about it. So, definitely things I would do differently, but it's also, a learning video. So that's kind of my goal here. I'm obviously not perfect. So, again, more desensitizing here. He's actually better about it that time. That was good. But the reason, like, the desensitizing doesn't work for him is, okay, I'm desensitizing, but then I'm chasing him with it. And then he's afraid of it anyway. So it never sticks. So I find it funny now because I'm like, wow, I was way off there. Oh, that was actually really nice. That was pretty good. That was probably his best one. But yeah, I was like way off. But it's hard when that's all you know. So, but that was a nice response from him. And I'll probably get the rope out and do a new, just like positive reinforcement video with the rope and with Alice and kind of see how we do with that. But it's just interesting to kind of see how far we've come for sure and kind of the mistakes we made along the way. But I'm going to just end him on that because that was actually really, really nice.